It's week 3 of the Texas high school football season, and there are massive games in every corner of the state. These are the picks. Welcome into the Picks, your guide to the Texas high school football weekend. My name is Greg Tepper of Dave Campbell's Texas Football and TexasFootball.com. Thank you so much for tuning into week 3 of the 2022 Texas high school football season we go. And I think the first couple of weeks have brought us a fair number of surprises on the both positive and negative side. On the positive side, you got teams that are 2-0 we never would have seen coming. El Paso High is 2-0. Elgin, after an 0-10 season last year, they're 2-0. What about Boys Ranch? Snapped a 49-game losing streak last year. They're off to a 2-0 start. And then you've got teams that we never would have seen starting the year 0-2, right? South Oak Cliff is 0-2. Lake Travis is 0-2. Aledo is 0-2. Big name programs that are scuffling out of the gate. Now, here's the good news. The good news is that we're starting to get deeper into the season, and these teams are getting better. They're getting a little bit more crisp, getting an opportunity to play with one another and an opportunity to turn that season around. There's huge games everywhere you look in week 3. We start in the Houston area. 7 o'clock Friday night at Galena Park ISD Stadium in Houston. It is a state-ranked 6A showdown between the unbeaten Spring Westfield Mustangs and the unbeaten Galena Park North Shore Mustangs. What are the keys to this matchup? Key number 1, wrecking machines. That's what these two teams have been through the first couple of weeks. My goodness, these have been two of the most dominant teams, not just in the Houston area, but in the entire state of Texas. So let's just have an exercise, right? There's a common kind of definition of garbage time, right? Of teams, a game that is not within 28 points. If a game is not within 28 points, then it's garbage time. Kind of, you don't take a whole lot from what's happening in that game, right? Well, then if you take the definition of garbage time and apply them to these two teams, these teams have lived almost entirely in garbage time. I mean, they have just absolutely dominated their opponents. North Shore, their opener against the Woodlands, they reached garbage time at halftime. After halftime, everything else, garbage time, right? What about Westfield? Westfield last week against Hightower, second half, all garbage time. Their opener against Cy Park, they got into garbage time in the second quarter. I mean, these teams have been absolutely clobbering their opponents. Well, now they meet, and I'll just say they're probably not going to clobber one another. So for two teams that have not played a lot of high-stakes football yet, what happens when they collide on a big stage? Key number 2, quarterback duel. This is going to be really fun to watch these two signal callers go at it on Friday night. For Spring Westfield, they've got PJ Hatter. The Klein Oak transfer has been one of the most terrific quarterbacks we've seen in the state of Texas to start the year. He has been razor sharp, completing nearly 75% of his passes, 10 touchdowns to no interceptions, averaging nearly 12 yards per attempt. PJ Hatter has been outstanding. On the other side for North Shore, you've got Caleb Bailey, the quarterback for North Shore, who of course led the Mustangs to a state championship in his freshman season. He has been razor sharp. Last week against Spring, 9 of 9, nearly 300 yards of total offense, 4 touchdowns. They've been both fantastic. But both these defenses have been really good as well, and this is going to be the best defense that either quarterback has seen this year. So when these two signal callers square off, who comes out on top? And key number 3, revenge. That's right. Let's talk about a little bit of vengeance on the mind of the Galena Park North Shore Mustangs, because think back to last year, right? They won the state championship, 6A Division I. It's a big parade there in Galena Park. But I have a question. What was their record? Do you remember? It's not 16-0. No. It was 15-1. And who did that one loss come to? Why, it was the mighty Spring Westfield Mustangs who toppled them in week 3 of last year, 27-21, in a real defensive slugfest. And this is just the second regular season loss for North Shore in the last 4 seasons. So there's a fair amount of vengeance that's probably going to be on the mind of this North Shore squad going up against Westfield, who wants to prove that last year was no fluke. Westfield is a bona fide state championship contender, and they want to go out there and prove that, last year, that's par for the course, baby. We're a team that beats teams like North Shore. So, will vengeance play a part in this game? Who am I picking? I'm going with North Shore. I think this game has a chance to be really good and actually relatively low scoring, because for as much as we talk about the quarterbacks in this game, PJ Hatter and Caleb Bailey, I think the defenses have an opportunity to take center stage and really be fantastic. And I love the way this front seven for North Shore is starting to develop. I think that they can challenge Westfield, who's always good in the offensive line. I think they can challenge them up front. Furthermore, I think being at home helps. And yeah, I think there's a little bit of extra juice behind North Shore, an ability to go out there and avenge their only loss from last year. Now, look, Westfield has proven they can beat anybody. They beat North Shore last year. They've got a great quarterback. They've got a defense I think is playing particularly well right now. But right now, I think I have to go with North Shore. I think Galena Park North Shore moves to 3-0. Let's go east. 7 o'clock Friday night at Mickey Main Stadium in Dangerfield. It is a huge small school clash as the Dangerfield Tigers welcome in the Timpson Bears. This is number 2 in 3A Division 2 against number 1 in 2A Division 1. That's a pretty good Week 3 matchup, huh? This has been a terrific start for Dangerfield, thanks in large part to their quarterback Chase Johnson, who was razor sharp last week in their win over Tatum. He has been excellent to pace this Tigers offense. Meanwhile, on the Timpson side, quarterback Terry Bussey has 15 touchdowns in the first 2 games. So he's all right. Yeah, what happens when Timpson takes aim at this Dangerfield defense that has a ton of team speed led by Bubba Hampton in the back end? I think this game has a chance to be really interesting. And for me, I think Dangerfield's the favorite, being at home and being the bigger team. But even if Timpson were to lose this game, I think that they would have a lot to really take from this because they're punching up a weight class. I think this game's going to be close, and I think it's going to have big explosive plays back and forth. But I do think that Dangerfield moves to 3-0. Let's bounce back up to the Metroplex. 7:30 p.m. Friday night at Mustang Panther Stadium in Grapevine. It's a state-ranked 5A Division II showdown between the Argyle Eagles and the Grapevine Mustangs. And in the carnage, the smoldering wreckage of 5A Division II, here are 2 undefeated teams. Argyle has ascended to the number 1 spot after making the move up from 4A to 5A, and last week against Lucas Lovejoy, they looked the part of a state title contender, ringing up nearly more than 700 yards of total offense. RJ Bunnell, their running back, was fantastic. They have been excellent. Small thing, they did give up almost 700 yards of offense. They got to clean that up, right? But so far, so good for the number 1 team in 5A Division 2. Going up against this Grapevine team, which is very quietly off to a 2-0 start. Evan Baum, their quarterback, and Parker Polk, their running back, pacing this offense. 2 of the best running games in the state going at it in this one. In the end, I look at Argyle and their ability up front in the trenches on both the offensive line and the defensive line as the difference in this ball game. I think this game's going to be close, but I do think that Argyle moves to 3-0. And let's go to Central Texas, 7:30 p.m. Friday night at Yo Field in Cameron as the Waco Connolly Cadets visit the Cameron Yo Yeomen. And if you like fireworks, do I have the game for you? Cameron Yo is averaging 66.5 points per game to start the year, so that's pretty good. Waco Connolly is averaging 50 points a game to start the year. So this game will not end 3-2. That is a promise here from Dave Campbell's Texas football. The Cameron Yo offense has been fantastic, led by Braylon Drake and Cardarius Bailey. They have been really strong to start the year, pacing this offense that has been absolutely explosive every time they touch the ball. And by the way, both those guys, just juniors. For Waco Connolly, we thought they might take a step back because running back Trey Weisner transferred to DeSoto, but they have been absolutely terrific to start the year, led by Kobe Black, their do-it-all athlete. And by the way, he's just a junior, so a lot of young stars on display here. Look, I would love to be a hipster and tell you, oh, actually, these 2 defenses are going to hold these teams to 10-7 ball games. But nah, this is going to be a high-scoring back-and-forth affair. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I do think Waco Connolly gets the win. But those are far from the only big games in Week 3 of the Texas high school football season. Let's get to the lightning round. I like Breckenridge to stay hot with a win over Cisco. Give me Edna to edge Refugio, and I think Brock finally gets in the win column with a win over Wimberley. I like El Dorado over Sonora. Give me El Paso Riverside over El Paso Jefferson, and Cibolo Steel stays hot with a win over Hutto. I'm going with McCamey over Rock Springs, Joaquin in a very close one over Tenaha, and give me Temple to take down College Station. I like Harlingen to take down Mission Veterans Memorial. Surprising Fremont stays hot with a win over Banquetti, and I like Belleville to beat Navasota. I'm going with Kennedale over Denison. Denton Geyer gets a win over Lancaster. And huge game on the Coastal Bend. I like Corpus Christi Calallen over Corpus Christi Flower Bluff. I think Allen edges Arlington Martin. DeSoto bounces back with a win over South Oak Cliff. And give me Rockwall to beat Prosper. I'm going with Jasper to beat Newton. West Orange Stark takes down Port Neches Groves. And out east, I like Van over Lindale. I think Katy takes command of the district with a win over Katy Tompkins. Give me Amarillo Tascosa to stay hot with a win over Odessa Permian. And I'm going with Klein Kane to beat Cy Falls. Panhandle stays perfect with a win over Vega. Andrew stays perfect with a win over Midland Greenwood. And Rusk stays perfect with a win over Athens. I think Shiner edges Poth in a really good small school matchup. Give me San Antonio Brennan over San Antonio Harlan. And it's the worst bowl. I like New Braunfels over New Braunfels Canyon. Give me Farwell over Sundown. San Diego beats Corpus Christi West Oso. And I'm going to go with Midlothian over Killeen Shoemaker. Couple battles of unbeatens in the northern part of the state. I like Whitesboro over Pottsboro, and give me Holiday to beat Idlewood. Albany stays perfect with a win over Seymour in our six-man game of the week. Make that six-man games of the week because it's a fantastic week this week. I like Westbrook to beat Rankin, and I'm going to go with May over Knox City. And those are the picks. What am I wrong about? Which games did I leave out? Leave comments down below. Don't forget that subscribe button. Follow us on Twitter at DCTF. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, instagram.com/Dave Campbell's. And of course, see us at texasfootball.com. Thanks for watching. Enjoy week 3 of the Texas high school football season. We'll see you.